All right, here we are live from my bed. How long can you go without eating? That is the question. How long can you go without eating? Every time I talk about, it's funny that this is still a really unknown type of topic right now because anytime I ask somebody how long do they think they can go without eating, it's been the same. It's been like, oh, maybe 3 days or something like that. And that was for a long time, that was the common response, even from experts. But just lately, I did some research, and experts have shown that you can go a lot longer without food. So I wanted to ask, what do you think that is before I even tell anybody that? What do you think? How long can you last without food? Because this is something that everybody needs to pay attention to. We have limited information as far as what our bodies and what our minds are capable of, and so that's why I'm drawing attention to stuff like this, because this is an essential part of how you need to think. You need to try and figure yourself out. Don't just worry about what the scientists are doing. Don't try and think for, oh, what somebody else knows about you. You got to do your own experiments. Okay, you got to really do your own experiments on yourself, and that's with food, that's with medicine, that's with everything. Only you, turn it down, buddy. Only you will know what you can actually figure out about yourself. Okay, at the end of the day, I know we got doctors and physicians and personal doctors and blah blah blah, but I'm telling you, at the end of the day, you need to do your own research on yourself. That's really what you need to do, because it's too much nonsense out there. And with a lot of stuff that happened in the background, COVID, all these other different things that went down, it's just really important for you to really start science in your own life, like dead serious. And that's what I do. um I personally science my own life. I personally have not had to go to the doctor in, man, I say like 3 4 years for anything. Because why? Because I'm very conscious about what I'm putting into my body, what I'm eating, what I'm drinking. I'm reading labels, I'm looking up stuff. I'm not trying to go out with just doing stuff willy-nilly. Okay, so that's what's important. So again, the main question I wanted to ask is, how long do you think you can last without food? Well, studies show that experts say you can last without food, just food, right? Not talking about juice, water, stuff like that. You can last without food. They believe it's between 1 and 2 months. 1 and 2 months that you can last without food. That's crazy. That's crazy. Everybody, if you ask anybody right now, they would say what I guess we've been saying for years, that you can only last 2 to 3 days. And that's just not the case. Experts now show that you can live 1 to 2 months without food. And here I'm asking I'm challenging everybody on April 1st. The reason why I'm going live right now is to challenge everybody to do a 24-hour fast, because it's important for your body to stop processing food. That takes so much mental energy. Okay, your brain is the processor of everything, right? Your body does have a nervous system and stuff like that, but your brain is actually doing all of the work, putting stuff where it needs to go. Okay, so you if you think about how your brain and your body works together, okay, if you're constantly forcing it to do stuff, like you already think, right? You already think a lot, you already do a lot, you're already working a lot, using your mind for stuff. But if you think about it, if you're constantly, because we have bowel movements, right? Bowel movements are basically your brain telling your body, okay, you got to put these toxins out. So if you think about it on a basic level, y'all, your brain, if you constantly are eating, which the so-called recommendation is 3 times a day, but if you're constantly putting food into your body, and your brain has to constantly say, okay, we got to process this, we got to process this, we got to process this, we got to process this. What if one time you decided, hey, let's allow the body to process everything. Let's allow the body to process everything out of the body. What would your brain have capacity now to actually do once it's done doing all of those extra tasks? It would have more space, it would have more RAM technically if you it would have more RAM technically if you think about it on like a computing type of level. Hi baby. If you think about it on a computing level, you'll have more space to think and to do stuff. So that's the first thing that I wanted to go over is, do you think you can last a day without food? And the answer is you absolutely can. Okay, you can absolutely last a day without food, and there would be no harmful effects on you because you already have a bunch of food stored up inside of your body right now. So if you think about that and you allow it to fully all process out, that's the best way of doing things. That's the best way you can allow your body to actually feel something different. Okay. Um, so again, experts believe that it's between 1 and 2 months. Now, how long do you think you can last without food and water? That's between 8 and 21 days, as far as what experts believe. So I'm saying, if you can last a whole week without food, a day is not gonna kill you. Okay, a day is not gonna kill you. If they're saying you can last a whole week without food and water, a day is not gonna kill you. Okay, most people think that though. When I ask them, they think a day is actually gonna kill them, and it's not. You're not gonna die if you don't eat in one day. Okay. Something else I wanted to draw attention to is, when do you think refrigerators were invented? Like just oh yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Declan know what's up, man. Um, refrigerators were just invented in the early 1900s, 1930. That's literally only like a couple hundred years ago. It's not even a long time ago, y'all. So what were human beings? You got, if you think about it and you are literally trying to figure out how human beings operate, y'all, if you think about it, what the heck were we doing before refrigerators were invented? We had to survive somehow. And the only reason, which I'm gonna get into, that the life expectancy was low, because that might be somebody's argument. The only reason the life expectancy was low was because of sanitary conditions that had nothing to do with the food, the way we were eating. It was sanitary conditions. But now that we've grown way past understanding how sanitary and how we need to be clean and stuff like that, now it's time to address the food again. How are we eating without refrigerators? Now we got refrigerators. We can pack our refrigerators. We can pack our pantries. How are we living without that at a certain point in time? How are human beings living? They had to be living some kind of way. So when you think about that, you're like, okay, so then if I, being a human, and a bunch of humans lived before, if I place myself in that time, how would I survive? How would I have survived? You would have had to, right? Because everybody else did. That's the only reason why human beings are in existence right now, because people survived, right? So you want to think about, okay, what does this mean for me? And we got all of these different luxuries and stuff that people take for granted, man. It's just something to pay attention to. So let's look at what the life expectancy was. The life expectancy in the U.S. in the 1800s was about 40 to 50 years old. And again, that was because of sanitary conditions. You know, it was all type of different stuff that we didn't know, washing hands, toilets, sewers, all of this stuff. But now that we have all of that and we have a lot of medical advancements in sanitary conditions, you want to think about, okay, now that that's taken care of, how can I actually think about how people were eating in that time frame? They probably weren't eating every single day. If you really think about it, they probably weren't, because if you didn't have somewhere to store it, you either had to go hunt for it or you had to figure out a way to eat that day. And if you figured out a way to eat that day, but maybe sometimes you didn't figure out a way to eat that day, then what did you do? You didn't eat. That's what it is. You didn't eat. You simply did not eat. And that was okay. That was normal. And now what we put as normal now is like completely unrealistic. You know, again, people thinking they're gonna die in a day. But the life expectancy right now in the US is about 80 years old. Okay, and that's because again, we got good we got good on being sanitary. We figured out how to get cleaner and make things last longer. So you just the reason why I'm pointing this out is because I would like everybody to be healthier. I think for the future of everybody. I want everybody to be able to succeed. I want everybody to be able to advance. Why? Because that's the future. That's the future. It's not just about me. It's not just about my family. It's about everybody. It's about the world as a whole. How can we improve upon this process to make everything better? That's what this is about, y'all. And that's how we should all be thinking. And if we all did think about like that, a lot of the nonsense, a lot of the extras, a lot of the wars, a lot of all of this stuff wouldn't even be. We need to try and think for the future. We need to try and think for how can we become better? How can we make our home, this earth, better? That's what we should really be thinking about, because that's the main idea. That's the main idea. If we really considered that, everything would go a lot, it would go a lot better. But the last thing I wanted to cover was that kind of goes into this to help you to think about what I'm talking about is the subconscious, right? You hear that sometimes the motivational speakers, they're talking about the subconscious mind because this all plays a part into that. So the subconscious mind has just been found out around the 1900s. Same thing about the refrigerator, right? Around the 1900s, they like, oh wait, you have a below conscious, a sub-level conscious mind. And that's where the idea of oh, you only use 10% was, because 95% of your mind is subconscious, is below conscious. Everything you're taking in isn't fully on a conscious level. Otherwise, your brain would probably explode. Right? You take in a lot of things subtly. Like if you think about when you look at words or when you look at pictures or when you look at colors, your brain subconsciously below the conscious level says what it is. Like it'll be like red, blue. That's a word. That's this word. That's food. That's this food. That's you don't have to actively consciously think it, like you have to say everything you're doing, hand move up, hand go, leg move forward. Like you don't do that. No, your subconscious does all of that work. So if we've just now started to figure out what our subconscious mind is doing, think about just how much we don't know, y'all. And that's really the key to all of this. Okay, is we don't know anything at all. People love to act like they know, what's going on with the brain and body and all of that stuff, or what even is going on in the world, but we really have zero clue, y'all. So that's why I'm challenge you. That's why I'm gonna challenge you, because it's gonna flip your brain. It's gonna change your whole perspective. If you think you can't last a day without food, you might cause yourself to have different problems or something like that. But if you really do research, if you look at all the people that's doing it, if you look at so many different examples where people are okay and it's actually got benefits, you might want to try it. You might want to try it and be like, okay, let me see it if I can personally science your own life, if I can personally last a day without food, there's a couple things that's going to happen. You're going to display a ridiculous amount of self-control, and you're going to give your body and brain a particular type of rest. You're gonna refresh yourself. You're gonna feel like, wait, this is different. So really think about that, y'all. Okay, April 1st is when we're gonna begin this. It's actually gonna start tomorrow on the 31st. That's what I would recommend. It's starting in the evening of the day before. That way you can last until the evening of the day of, right? So for example, I'm encouraging everybody to start Sunday at 5 p.m., wherever 5 p.m. is on your time frame, right? If you start, if you don't eat, like you can drink water, just it's you have to not drink or eat anything that has calories in it to properly actually start a fast, right? So if you stop eating at 5 p.m., now 24 hours might seem like a long time, but if you stop eating at 5 p.m., you allow yourself to go to sleep at some point in the night, you go all the way to 5 a.m., which you probably still won't be woke. That's already 12 hours. So all you got is 12 hours to go, right? So then you go to 9 p.m., 4 more hours. That's 9 a.m., my bad. That's 16 hours. So you only got like less than 10 hours to go. That's like literally just a work day. So if you decide to, get up, have some water, which that could usually curb your hunger for at least a few hours if you have some water and stuff like that. You can last probably like at least 4 more hours, which would get you into 20 hours. Then once you get into 20 hours, it's going, for people that have never done this is going to challenge your brain. This is going to challenge your self-control, which is a whole nother topic that I would go into at a different time. But this is going to challenge you self-control wise. Okay, you got 4 more hours to be able to not eat, right? And you'll be fine. you will be fine at this time. You might be a little hangry, you might be a little upset, and that's fine because that's part of the process a little bit. But it's really on you at that point to determine that you're not going to eat anything. And it don't matter if you go into a party, it don't matter if you got family coming over, it don't matter if you are providing a feast. None of that matters, y'all. We like to use excuses. None of that matters. It is simply up to you to just be like, no, I'm not going to eat for this particular time. That's it. That's it. It's a matter of self-control. That's all it is. Yes, baby. It's just a matter of self-control. So if you want to join in on us, hold on, baby. Hold on, sweetheart. If you want to join in, okay, shoot me a message on one of these. Shoot me a message, and I will give you a link to where we can all group together on this app, and we can talk about this tomorrow. Okay, if you want to join in, shoot me a message, and we will start the 24-hour fast tomorrow at 5 p.m. Okay, so DM me or instant message me or wherever it is. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook right now. So wherever you find me, Kevin Anytime, wherever you find me, shoot me a message. Sometime today, I'll let you know when we're gonna start the fast tomorrow, and it's gonna be a lot easier than you think. Okay, I really encourage people to try this out that haven't tried it out or been thinking about it or been hearing about it or whatever, because it's going to help you. It's going to help your brain, your body. It's going to help you to feel better, and it's going to put you in a completely different state of being and state of mind going forward in your life, which would be for the better. I guarantee it. All right, so that's all I got for y'all today. Appreciate everybody being on the live and saying what's up, and we will see you guys again anytime. Out. Yes, baby.